We are going to be making a granny hexagon. Sometimes we refer to it as a granny hexagon square, but since it has 6 sides, it's not a square but a hexagon. So we are going to be making a granny hexagon motif. And to make this motif, we are going to start off by making a magic circle. Like that. We are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That will count as our first double crochet stitch, and we are going to make 2 other double crochet stitches. This is our first cluster of double crochet stitches. Chain 1 and make another cluster of 3 double crochet stitches. 2, 3. Chain 1, make a third cluster. We are going to be making a total of 6. We are going to be making a total of 6 clusters. And every after cluster, you chain 1. Let's check and see. We've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to make 1 more cluster. And those are 6 clusters. After the 6 clusters, we chain 1 and we slip stitch to close off our first row. So we are going to pull on our yarn the strand that we left such that we close off that circle properly. Now we are going to our second row. We are going to slip stitch until we get to the corner. Slip stitch, and that is our first corner. We chain 3, and in each of the corners we are going to make 2 clusters of 3 double crochet stitches. After the first cluster, chain 1, chain 1. This is our first corner, and we are going to the second. That's the second corner. We are going to continue doing the same thing for each of the spaces that we left every after 3 clusters until we are back here. So we've come to the end of the row, and we've been making 2 clusters of 3 double crochet stitches in each of the corners. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and even as you can see, our hexagon is already beginning to form. We are going to chain 1 and slip stitch in our first chain, and then we are still going to slip stitch until we find our space. That's our second row done. To begin the third row, we still chain 3. That counts as the first double crochet stitch, and then we make, like in all the other corners, we make 2 clusters of 3 double crochets. Every after 3 you make a chain 1, and then you do other 3. We still chain 1, and now we are going to make 3 double crochets in this space between here. 1, 2, and 3. We are going to chain 1 and go to the corner. The corner has 2 clusters of 3 double crochets each. That's the first cluster, 3, chain 1, and then we put that second one, 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and we are now going to this space in between where we make only 3 double crochets, or 1 cluster, 2 and 3. Chain 1, and we go to another corner, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3. We are going to continue like that. In the space here we put 3 double crochets. Here in the corner we put 2 clusters of 3 double crochets and a chain in the middle, and do that until we get back to this corner. At the end of our last cluster, we are going to chain 1 and slip stitch in the first chain. That's what we do at the beginning and end of every row. So now that's our 3rd row done. We are going to go to the next row. These spaces will keep on increasing. In the 2nd row, in the first row we just had the corners. Here we didn't have this cluster alone. Now in the next row we are going to have 2 clusters, and as the square keeps growing bigger and bigger, you find that these clusters in between the corners keep increasing. So we are going to do 1 more row. That's our first cluster, chain 1, chain 1. In this space we make 3 double crochets, chain 1, go to the next space, make 3 double crochets, and that will bring us to our corner. Chain 1, and then we do the corner clusters. Chain 1, and we go to these spaces again, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then in the corner, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you keep going like that. You see now we have 2 clusters in between the corners. In the next line there will be 3, and they'll keep increasing like that. You keep going until you've reached the size of the granny hexagon that you want, like this.